Hello and good morning. Welcome to the NuSpecian Live. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Aston. Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here today. On this Q&A weekly, we answer your questions that you have about your health. Our goal is to help you along your own unique health journey. NuSpecies is a natural health company. We invent and manufacture our own line of high potency, raw, herbal medicine and plant-based supplements. And our and our mission is to help all of you live better and longer.
Of course.
We do that through education and help you sift through all the difficult experiences you could be having in the medical industry or just even in the supplement industry, not knowing what is good for you, what you should take. But a good health choice for one person is not necessarily a good health choice for someone else. And that's why we host this Q&A to give you some time every Saturday morning to help you sift through all of that and make the best choices for you. So thank you so much for being here.
So it's all about you. Ask your questions.
Ooh, sorry, guys.
I know you have a lot of questions. Your friends, family, all the people you recommend have questions. Ask the questions of us. The one of the best part about this, Jill, is that what you said was great, but to pick out a little piece of it,
Sure.
we manufacture our own products. So we invent, create our own products. We manufacture our own products. And what that means is that we know everything about our products. We're not going through any third person or fourth person or second person. We are it. And we know everything about what's in our formulas, how they get in there, where they come from. I don't know how many companies out there you could sit before in a Q&A like this, live Q&A, and the people who run the company will say to you, we know everything about what's in our products. Everything. So when it comes to safety and the potency, we make them to work to help you. And we've been doing this for so long. And we have gone through helping tens of thousands of you. So that knowledge is not in a book or a magazine or a study. It's in NuSpecies.
I was going to say, we don't necessarily ever talk about like the anniversary of starting NuSpecies, but we typically just use the incorporation date as our official like anniversary date. And that's in July, which is now. But I keep messing up the math. So if that was in 2007 and now we're in 2005, 2025. This is live. We are here right now.
Are you drinking coffee? If you don't have some dopamine in that.
Okay, so if that was 2007, this is 2005. I was recently saying 16 years, we're going on 17 years, but is it 18 years? How does year math work? Okay. Yeah, so it's 18 years.
And before that, we were a charitable foundation. Before NuSpecies was incorporated, we were helping a lot of people otherwise as a charitable company. And those of you who don't know, it's the charitable work that brought NuSpecies to being, that gave birth to NuSpecies, because we were helping people, just not, we weren't making our products in those early days, but we were helping so many people. It was hard to look away from doing it the right way, make the right stuff, make the right formulas or products that will truly, help people the right way without side effects and without conflicts with our interaction with medication. So there's just so much that went into starting NuSpecies in those early days. It's just a lot. So we're lucky, and so are you, and that's why you're family. And ask your questions, please, and ask us anything. If we don't have the answers, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, so we've got hi Headley. Good morning, Joyce. Good morning, Darnett. We know a lot of you are often listening in situations where you can't type into the chat, but if you can, at least say good morning and let us know you're here, even if you don't have any questions. Hi, Derekford. Yes, welcome back. Thank you. We're happy to be back with you, and I know a lot of you are happy to be back together here on the show. So this is really very exciting. We when we came back last week, we knew it would take a little while to get everyone back on board. So we're hoping we can spend the rest of the summer getting the show back to where it was before we had to pause. Okay.
Well, we pause because life happens.
Yeah, life indeed. We have lives too. What I will say though is a big change that we've been making for a while now that has been that's been exciting, I think, for our team and even for our clients, is that we have put in place a process where, like Aston was saying, we know everything about our products. We make our own formulas. We invent our own formulas. We deliver them ourselves with our own hands to our stores. And in the past, people have felt like they have to just talk to Aston to get any information. But now we have made it so that everyone on our team has a direct line to Aston at all times. So Aston has less formally booked appointments, so he has more free time on his calendar to just take live calls. So anytime you are talking to someone on our team, you are technically also talking to Aston, because as soon as you say or ask anything that they are not 100% sure of, they're going to get Aston live on the phone or on video and conference him in with your conversation in order to ensure that you get the answer quickly, so you don't have to wait now to book an appointment, or for Aston to call you back unless he's on another call. But you'll be able to get that answer right away. And our teams, we're training our team to just become extra arms and legs of Aston. And it's been working really well. We think that your client services have become a lot more efficient. Obviously, during our pause of our show, we had a pause of some other things, and so it might have been harder to reach Aston there for a bit. But we're still building this new process, which is in full fledged right now. So if you haven't experienced it yet, we hope you will the next time you call or text or come into a store.
And there'll be there are a few kinks to get rid of, but the whole idea is, Jillian was saying, is that we don't want you to wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month to speak with me. We're trying to get you call, or you walk into a NuSpecies store or office. We want to be able to help you then and there. You have high blood pressure, you have diabetes, it's really bad, you're in pain, you have cancer, you have all these issues. You shouldn't have to wait 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, like you do in the medical system to get help. And you come to us because you believe, or we can help you, or you send family and friends to us because you believe we can help you based on our track record of helping some of the people in the past. So we don't want you to wait too long. So there are a few kinks to iron out, and be patient with us. We'll get through it. But I think it's been working better. I'm able to talk to people who just walk into the stores or the offices now, and they don't have to come back. They can start getting help the day they walk into our stores or call us.
We're just going to keep talking unless you ask us questions or you have any comments. I'll say good morning to Naruto and June. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for being here. So please feel free to ask any questions that you have. This could be questions about NuSpecies formulas if you're considering buying. It could be questions about the products you're already taking. Maybe you want to optimize your dosing, or you're not sure about how to take them. This could be questions about a new health concern that you have. Maybe you're already on some products and now you have a new health concern and you want to know if what you're already taking can be helpful, or if you need to add something in or change anything. So feel free to talk about that. If you have questions about NuSpecies as a company or brand in general, questions to Aston and I, we're here for you. This is the agenda for this show is your agenda. So whatever you want to talk about, we will do our best to address your questions and concerns. And in the meantime, we'll just keep talking about things. What we will announce in the meantime is that we have a discount going on right now. So it is 15% off all full price products. So there are certain products that are currently already discounted a little bit better than 15%, and those discounts will remain. And then anything you add on to that's full price will get the 15% off. So you're basically getting a discount on every single thing that you buy. I will also say that the Bee Pollen 9, which is the upgrade, is 30% off, which that's my clearance discount. And it's because I made too much of it and I want to change out the bottle that we put it in, which means I have to make a new batch, and I'm not going to waste what I've already made because it's perfectly wonderful, good NuSpecies product. So I'm just giving you 30% off so that you'll buy it in droves so that I can move on to the new bottle I'd like to use. And the reason why I say this though is because a lot of people get allergies in the fall.
Hmm.
And bee pollen, if you use it for allergies, is most effective if you start taking it a couple of months in advance. So, considering the 30% off, which will only last as long as the stock does, and the timing before fall the season for allergies, I would say buy it now and get it into your system consistently to help you with your fall allergies.
So yeah, so bee pollen, Joe, we initially first brought bee pollen to new species because we wanted to help people with digestive issues. That was the primary goal. I'm not sure if you remember the days when we were trying to find a good enzyme, that people could take.
That was, I think that was you inventing the products before me, before I
Okay,
was
so
involved. Yeah.
so
So when I joined, we had LNU, the LNU one, which was Body Systems Life back then.
right.
We had the men or women's formula, and then we
Hmm.
had the bee pollen.
Right.
And so people could get just the LNU, or they could add on the men or women's health product, or
Hmm.
they could add in the bee pollen.
So let's talk
And you would
about
say,
that.
"Do you want power? Or do you want superpower?" And then, "Me want superpower."
Well, let's talk about those products because the foundational reason why we had those first products. One, the men's formula and the women's formula, hormonal issues, people, are one of the most common issues all humans get. All humans, hormonal issues, ladies with their breast glands, their uterus, their ovaries, men with their prostate, is one of the most common health issue on the earth. Google it right now, and you'll see that. And that's why we had the hormonal formula that we still have today, but now we have improved it with the Queen Nanny, which is more potent, and the Big Boy, which is more potent than the men's formula. And then the third is the bee pollen. Digestive issues is very easily the most common health issue all humans get, even if it's just gasiness or bloating. But you just imagine the number of health problems people get in their digestive tract. Forget about constipation. That is just way at the top. And then there are all those autoimmune diseases that people get in their digestive tract. So that's why we brought in the bee pollen. We manufacture the bee pollen to help people with digestive issues. So the bee pollen is for all digestive issue. It can support the liver, the pancreas, for all digestive issues, including constipation. Yes, we primarily talk about the detox, but the detox, I think, was later, right?
Yeah, we didn't come out with that. I remember you, oh my gosh, you were trying to say, Jillian, get this new product going for months, and I didn't get it done. You were
So
so mad. You're like, when is the detox coming out, Jillian, please? I was like,
it
I can't get to it.
it is not easy to bring a good product or formula to the market. It's not
Mhm.
easy. There's just so many testing that we have to go through. We have to go through a lot of FDA compliances, and one day we should have a whole segment letting people know, letting our clients know, our family know, the extreme measures that we have to take to bring a formula, a new species formula, to our store.
Mhm.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, people,
Yeah.
just to do it the right way. And nothing we make is made in our basement.
No, it's all made in the USA, but
In
it's
compliance with FDA laws that pharmaceutical companies comply with. Yeah.
yes, yeah, all
So,
made in the USA, but we can't drive there. So I have to work remotely with our team, and there's a lot of back and forth, and it's complicated.
so the bee pollen,
Yeah.
that's how important it is.
Mhm.
Everybody should be taking it. If you have children who have digestive issues, they should be taking it. Everybody should be taking the bee pollen because digestive issues is one of the most common health problems everyone gets. Everyone, and especially those who, as people get older, the liver start losing its muscles, the pancreas, start losing its muscles, so they're not able to produce the enzymes, the digestive juices that are required in the stomach to digest food, and that's why a lot of the foods that you used to eat when you were younger, you just can't eat anymore. And if you eat certain foods that just sit in your stomach, it's because the digestive enzymes or the gastric juices are not there, are in the amounts that they should be. So bee pollen helps the liver the pancreas, and the thyroid to trigger the creation of the hormones that are necessary, because hormones are messengers to let the liver know what you're eating and what's in your mouth that's going to go to the stomach, and that's how it works. So the liver can send the right enzymes to digest the foods that you're eating. And the pancreas, the liver and the pancreas, that's the way it works. That's what the bee pollen is all about. And that's why we have had it from day one and we still have it. So now Jill is saying she made too much and she wants, she's giving away literally 30% off whatever excesses we have, because she's changing to some cute bottles. She and Mary, they've been
Yeah,
working on
so
this cute bottle.
on the point that you just made,
Yeah.
some folks who use the bee pollen, they can just use the dropper lid and they can just, take it before or after eating, or they just squirt it into their other formulas and drink it all at once.
Mhm.
But other folks are actually taking like a teaspoon several times a
Yeah.
day. And when you have the dropper bottle, and only in a 1 ounce, it runs out really fast and it's not as easy to administer because you have to like take out the thing, put it down in a sanitary way, and pour out your teaspoon. So what I'm doing is putting it in a 2 ounce bottle and having a twist off lid instead of the dropper lid, so that you can just pour out your teaspoon and it will last longer. So it's really just making an adjustment for it to make more sense for how those of you who need to use it more frequently in higher doses, how you use it. So that's why I'm trying to move
Right.
along from the higher potency in the small bottle with the dropper lid.
Makes sense. So if you have the drop up bottle and you need to take a teaspoon, like I would tell you all who are required to take a teaspoon, you'll have to dip it like maybe 6 to 8 times, maybe even
Right.
10 times
It's a lot.
to get a teaspoon.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, and then or you're like I said, you're fidgeting with the dropper. It's glass. You could put it down on your counter and break it. And
Right.
so, which I do recommend those of you who are using the teaspoon dose and you don't really need the dropper, just pull it right out of the pump lid and throw it away. That way you don't have the issue of maybe contaminating your product by putting it on your counter and then putting it back into your bottle. So just pull out the dropper. It pops right out of the rubber dropper lid, and throw it away. And the same thing with your God formula. So if you're taking God Formula 2, that's another product that I'm changing the bottle to have a twist off lid. And it will also come in the violet glass like the God Formula 8 ounce. So if you're on the God Formula 2 ounce size, it's very likely your dose is a teaspoon. And so you're not using the dropper. So just pull it out of the lid. I think we even have extra lids, twist off lids now in the stores that we're giving you to just change out the lid completely. So if you haven't gotten one of those, when you go to the store, you can ask our team for them and they can give you one to replace on your bottle.
Okay.
We're doing actually, like, while we're doing product updates, we have an issue I'm still trying to figure out with our vitamin E. So, and we use this too at home and it happens to us. We're no exception. But after a while, something about the chemistry of the vitamin E starts to make the pump sticky. We can't figure out what that is. So we have extra dropper lids in the stores. So if you buy the vitamin E and our team doesn't give you an extra lid, just ask for an extra one. That way, once that dropper lid starts to get sticky, you can just replace it.
Mhm.
But it is so thick and so sticky, and the dose is so small that I have to find the best alternative. Trying to see if there's like a higher quality lid that won't be so susceptible to whatever that chemistry is with the vitamin E. I'm not sure. But yeah, nothing's wrong with it if you have a vitamin E that gets sticky. All right. Good morning, Shirley. Hi, Diana. And I know Fitzgerald joined. Hi, Valerie. Good morning, everyone, for being here. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. I can't imagine after all of this time, you don't have any questions. We have so many updates for you. Come on, what's going on? Has NuSpecies just healed all your ailments and you have no further questions? What's going on? What do you want to know? What's
So
worrying you? What can
we have those two. Those of you who don't know, we're just going to touch it very briefly as a reminder. We have those two new products. A lot of you have been asking for it for years. Ashwagandha.
Here we go. Ashwagandha.
Yep. And it's a very good herb, and I think you all know that. A lot of people use it for stress and anxiety. Those type of brain issues, even depression. So you know that we have the brain package, or we have a nerve package, which is way more potent because when someone has nerve damage, those nerve damage are very, very difficult to fix. And I'm sure all your doctors will tell you it's impossible to fix a nerve problem, especially after surgery or radiation or chemo. So, but we come up with this ashwagandha. It's very affordable. How much for it, Joe?
The ashwagandha,
Yeah.
29.99.
$29.99, and there's a discount now, 15%. They will get 15% off, right?
Yeah, you'll get 15% off. I think
Okay.
did we just get some in? I think we just got some in. We were running low, but I think we got some in.
Right. So that's what, this new formula is ashwagandha. So any of you, if you have your children or your kids, your any family members or friends who have, any kind of depression, anxiety, and you don't want to invest in, rebuilding your nerves with the bigger packages we have, or yeah, or you can just get the ashwagandha. And then we have the zinc. I guess is something that we should have brought out years ago, but the zinc is for everybody, and we're carrying it like we have the calcium, which is a separate mineral. The zinc is a mineral, and we're carrying it like the calcium, that we have as a separate mineral. But the zinc will help all of you, men and women, to it will assist your body to create healthy hormones, very healthy hormones. So if you're not taking Queen Nanny or the women's formula or the men's formula, and you just want to support your body generally, you don't have to have an issue to take any of our formulas. Even the L-New25 Super K-Man, you don't have to have health issues to take these formulas. But the zinc will help, the body to create more healthy hormones. And beyond that, for men, it is especially powerful for men's prostate. If you Google, which I don't like when people Google, but if you Google and get some really good studies, you'll see that the prostate gland collects a lot of zinc because it assists the prostate to fight against cellular breaking up or getting damaged by viruses or bacteria or other parasites. So the zinc is a very good formula to add to your prostate package or protocol. It also assists the prostate to create healthy cells and regenerate healthy cells. So it's a second new formula we have brought out that we would like all of you to be using, but especially you men who have enlarged prostate, you have prostatitis, you have prostate cancer or past prostate cancer. The zinc also will help with BPH. BPH meaning that the cells are damaged in the prostate, and you want the prostate to regenerate healthy cells. It will facilitate that. And if you have any questions about it, you can ask away, or you can call me, and I can give you more information about these new formulas. But basically, that's what they do. Ashwagandha, depression, anxiety, any of those type of stress issues that everyone goes through from time to time, children and older people, and that's the ashwagandha. And then the zinc promotes helping the body to produce healthier hormones, and especially for men who have prostate issues. Right?
Yeah, I was showing it on the screen so that they could see where it is on the website. So you just go to the shop section and go to vitamins and minerals, and then you'll see zinc is in that category. You could also just search for it in the search bar.
Right.
All right. Kind of a timely segue. Shirley Reed was asking, what do you have for the hair? And when we were talking about bee pollen, I was going to bring up the beauty aspects of it, and then we shifted a little quickly. So for bee pollen, it is great.
We had a beauty package.
We do have a beauty package.
We still do.
Yeah, we just removed all the packages from the website right now because we were upgrading the way the packages display, and we were updating a lot of the contents of the packages. So we removed them from the site and just haven't put them back up yet. But that'll be our next set of goals for the website. In the meantime, there is a beauty package. I don't remember if bee pollen is even in it.
It should be. If it's not, Mary, it should be.
Mary's like, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So But bee pollen is great because it has a lot of amino acids. And a
Hmm.
lot of people focus on protein. They think about we need to consume protein, but
Hmm.
your body synthesizes protein. What it really needs is amino acids. So your body makes a certain amount of the amino acids that it needs, and then we need to consume the other amount of amino acids. And then your body actually uses those like blocks, like building blocks, to create the necessary proteins. Now, a lot of things related to beauty, like collagen and elastin, these are proteins, but you're not. I mean, yes, you can go buy collagen, but this is really not the most biologically appropriate way to get collagen in your body. You want to actually consume amino acids and have your body produce these proteins. As we get older, and our body experiences more wear and tear, and it has to start to triage what it's actually working on, it's going to slow down on those unnecessary proteins and focus on other things, which is why beauty will start to fade over time, before other things. Bee pollen is considered a superfood because it has so many different great benefits. And Aston was talking about the digestive ones, but it also is amazing for muscle tone and skin and hair and nails. So, especially if maybe the whole beauty package is not in your budget, taking a lot of bee pollen can be really helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I personally, I take it every day, because it also gives energy. I would take it along with the Fire Focus and the LNU 25. I usually take them together, especially when I need some energy boost. So, you say it's a superfood. What that means is that it has a lot of minerals and a lot of vitamins as well, beside the proteins that Jill just talked about. So it's a very powerful formula. We have clients who use it for pain as well. So that's another um, basis for which we have it. So a lot of people who come to us with pain, whether it's knee pain or cancer pain or whatever, we would recommend the bee pollen with the MSM and the LNU 25. Those three together, they help the body to fight pain in a powerful way. We have clients who use those three together, and they would say the medication they get from their doctors didn't work as well as those three completely natural formulas. So the bee pollen is the honeybee. The bee pollen is a really good formula that everybody should be taking. So you're right; it's not just for digestion, and it's part of our skin package. A lot of the ladies. So in the early years of NuSpecies, when we were in Mount Vernon and Elmont, when we were across the street beside PC Richards, we used to see these ladies who would come in, and they were taking the bee pollen as part of their package, and they would come in and say everywhere they go, people would tell them how beautiful their skin, and even today. And that's why we created the beauty package with the vitamin D, the B vitamins, the bee pollen. So we have a beauty package that is no longer on the website, and the bee pollen is a huge part of it. So
So the beauty package that we used to have on the site, had LNU1, B vitamins, mineral, DNA,
mhm.
vitamin E, MSM, and women's health. So it sounded like that was more focused on like serious rebuilding of maybe root causes of premature aging. But we didn't have the bee pollen in there. Maybe we had to prioritize because of the budget.
I don't know, but it should be in there. It's
Okay.
a huge part of it
So we've
because
had to rework that.
yeah.
Okay. Also, surely it depends too on what maybe is the cause of hair loss or not as much hair growth. There could be many things. So we're just talking straight up like nutritional reasons, anything that would just support your body to be more optimal when it comes to growing your hair and strengthening hair. Genetics obviously play a big role in that. So that's not something we can necessarily control. But when your body is really well nourished, you can get your genetics to express themselves as positively as possible. So we obviously don't have as much information as we would need to address any other potential causes for you. But NuSpecies can help in many different ways. As you probably know, I know you've been with us for a long time. So you can always call and chat with Aston as well. Again, you don't usually have to wait for an appointment anymore. If you're willing to hold for a bit for him to get on the phone, our team can conference him in and he can ask you some more questions about that.
Right. One of the main things we would want to know, Shirley, is if you have hormonal imbalance. hormonal imbalance is one of the main reasons ladies lose their hair or have breakages in their hair. So if you have a hormonal imbalance, you can let us know, and you would know by if you have fibroids or had fibroids or ovarian cysts or dense breasts or thyroid issues or pituitary gland issues, like, you have high prolactin. Anyone or any combination of those issues could contribute to hair loss, meaning that your testosterone, estrogen, progesterone are in a state of imbalance. So we would want to know that, so we could focus on what's causing the hair loss. And another reason could be alopecia, where you have a lot where people get, a lot of people, men and women, get sores in their skin, especially in their scalp. If that's part of it, we would want to know that. So there are many reasons for people getting hair loss. So you could let us know.
All right.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Headley. So Headley's following up on an issue he began speaking to you about in November. And so the doctor tested his A1C, and it was a fasting test, and it was 6.3. And then he retook it in May, and it was 6.1.
Okay.
But he follows a healthy lifestyle. He was taking the products suggested, and I think he was expecting, Oliver, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you were expecting it to be a little lower than 6.1 all these months later. So let us know. This is the first time he's seeing an A1C result like this.
So what is the question? I'm sorry.
Headley, in November, started working on his A1C. It was 6.3. He lives a healthy lifestyle. He was taking the formulas recommended, but now in May, when it was retested, it has only gone down to 6.1, and he was hoping, I guess, to see better results than that.
I would have expected better as well, Headley. If you take what we recommended and you take it consistently, and that's the key. You take what we recommended, you take it consistently, and even if you had the worst diet on the earth, it should have gone down lower. So we should talk, and you should send us your labs, or I can pull you up now and see. I won't disclose anything confidential about you, Headley, to see if there are other issues that could be causing the A1C not to go down further. But I would like us to speak. Is it okay if I get your last name, Headley?
Oh, Oliver.
Oh, Headley Oliver. Oh, okay. So I'm going to working today. Monday, Headley, I can give you a call, but not today.
Full disclosure, we have our son's graduation party today.
Yeah.
But we were not going to miss the show today since we just restarted last week. So
as to why your A1C has not gone on more.
okay.
Yep.
All right. Maybe so we could let other listeners know, what are some circumstances under which this happens, and what does NuSpecies usually do? Like, because our formulas aren't a cure, although for some people they're so effective it feels that way. And there could be so many reasons why someone doesn't get the results that you thought that it would happen. Is there a general way to address that, just so we're not leaving it hanging like that?
Well, specifically for diabetes, the maybe two or three very common reasons why people's A1C have not gone down the way it should. Over 90% of the people who take our formulas consistently for 3 to 6 months, they would see a significant drop in their A1C, or it would even go back to normal for a lot of people. So one reason would be not taking the right dosage of the formulas consistently. That's one. Two, not taking the full protocol or the package that we ideally use for diabetes. And three would overlap the first two. You have to be on the formulas for 3 to 6 months consistently. 3 to 6 months consistently
Uh,
to see.
he's saying May is when I took the recommended products. Headley, can you just confirm? Because before it sounded like you were saying you started taking them last November and you've been taking them all along. Because that's a long time to be on the recommended products and not see better results than that. So now it's July. So has it only been 2 months? Because then maybe you wouldn't expect to see better results than that, or would you still have expected to see better?
No, 3 to 6 months
Okay,
and the full package.
please confirm, Headley.
So I'm looking at maybe there we have other Headley Olivers, but I'm looking at the record, and Mary, you can pull it up with me as well. And I'm seeing where I have not spoken with Headley, and this is what I'm seeing in the record in Input Health since 2021. So Headley, I'm not sure if you were. We need to talk. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is what I'm seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but here's the note that makes it look like it's the right chart.
Right.
Yeah.
So and yeah. So let's talk on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next month I will retain my blood work. Redoing your blood work or sending it to us? Okay. We'll take care of it though.
We'll get you where you need to be, Headley.
Yeah, there's like Asin said, there are really common things that could stop someone from seeing the results that we expected, and we usually run through those. If someone says they're living a healthy lifestyle, in a lot of cases, and like we said, we say at the start of every show, a good health choice for one person may not be a good one for someone else. And, a healthy lifestyle is a very, very subjective statement that, you could be doing what you think is healthy and maybe it's actually not the best thing for you. So that's usually something to drill down into because although a lot of people get results with NuSpecies despite their diet, there are a good number of people who really do need to make some changes. Otherwise, it's just too hard for the body to do the work that we're asking. So that's something that probably should be discussed as well. But yeah, there's usually always something and we figure it out. And this is why we want you to follow up with us frequently. It's why we do the Q&A every single week. It's why Aston is always saying and our team is always asking you, can I book a follow-up with Aston? Because we want to catch these things early. We don't want you spending money on a same package for many months only to find out it didn't do what it was supposed to do, right? So keeping in touch with us, letting us know these things is great, and we always work it out.
Right, and that's why team, I make myself available so much because I need to talk to you to see what's going on. I need to follow up with you to make sure you are, you're on track. I need to talk to you to make sure you're sending me your labs every 3 or 6 months, however often you do them. I need to talk to you to ensure that if I need to get some lab results from you, I'm not going to wait, for your doctor to do it. And that's why we have a medical partner that we send our clients to get their labs done. If we need it earlier, we need results earlier. So all of you who work with us, you know by now that you have to reach out to us when, if you have questions or if things are not going right, and you need to send us your labs. A lot of you do send us your labs, every quarter, or twice a year, every year. We need to see labs. So Headley, I don't know if you had sent in yours, but the last time we got the labs from you was 2021, and that was 2021 was the last time I spoke with you as well. So we need to catch up, brother. Okay. Let's get caught up.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Valerie. And Valerie, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. Valerie's saying, what would you suggest for women in their 60s? Please discuss about Queen Nanny. So, Valerie, if you can just confirm if those are two separate questions, or if you want to specifically know if Queen Nanny is good for women in their 60s. It sounds like you might be looking for general guidance for women in their 60s, plus you want to know about Queen Nanny. That's how I'm interpreting it. But clarify for me if you can. I'll keep my eye on the chat. And in the meantime, Aston, you can answer that and however you interpret it.
It's a great question. I think it's one of the best questions ever been asked of us ever. And it pertains to men as well, because every human being should be thinking about what's happening to my body when I pass 30 years old, 40 years old, 40 at 40, 35, 40 is when a lot of people's bodies start developing diseases, whether it's blood pressure, diabetes, and especially with women. That's when a lot of these hormonal issues explode, literally explode. A lot of women get breast cancer in their 30s and 40s, especially if you're a Black woman. A lot of you. And when you get it in your 30s and 40s, it's very aggressive. And if it's the triple negative, you're very likely going to die. And people need to know that when we get to a certain age, our bodies start losing muscles. Everybody knows that. You have a little belly fat, you have a little fat on your side, you touch your arm and it jiggles a little more than it usually jiggle. Guess what, people? That's what's happening to the heart and the brain and the lung. So if we're seeing belly fat or we're seeing muscle loss, we're not as firm, in our legs and our bodies the way we used to. The organs are doing the same thing, probably worse. And that's part of the reasons why we're going to get these diseases in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And then as we get older, the issue with muscle loss exponentially increase. And we start, we pass 40, 50, and a lot of us start thinking about our grave because we can feel the weakness. We can't climb those stairs the way we used to. We can't do all these things we used to because the body is getting weaker. So everybody should be, conscious of that and start taking action as to what they should do. What should we do to keep the body strong? What type of exercises, we should do? What type of diets we should be doing to keep the body healthy, right? What type of supplements we should be taking? What aspects of our bodies, like our hormones, every human being, once we turn 30, 40, our hormones start going down the hill in a rapid way. And that's why I can tell you right now that most of the cancers on the earth today, they are hormonal cancers. Most of the cancers are caused from hormone imbalances, hormone issues. And yes, it is absolutely guaranteed for every human that once we pass 30, 40, 50, our hormones are going to plunge in a very dangerous, deadly way. And if we're not cognizant of that and take action to support our bodies the right way, we're going to die prematurely. A lot of us going to die prematurely. A lot of us going to get sick and not recover. So that's why that question is so deep and so powerful, because people are not thinking that once they pass 40, 50, 60, they have more years of life behind them than years ahead. That's the reality of the human existence. And that's why we're here at New Species to recommend what you can do with diets and lifestyle and New Species to support your body, especially if you have diseases. The last thing I'm going to say to that really wonderful question is that most of us, once we turn 50, 60, we know what's going to kill us because we have it already. We have the disease already. Whether it's the, disease itself or the complications of it. Like my mother, she died from the complication of diabetes. She had diabetes when she was in her 30s, and that's what eventually killed her. She died from a heart attack from the complication of diabetes. So I'm giving my mother to you as an example for you to think about that. We have a disease condition and we don't fix it, it only gets worse and it only affects other organs. Sorry that I go off on my soapbox.
So Valerie, she said it is two separate questions. So she wants advice. So I think you just explained the root causes of what could affect her at 60.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming she also wants to know what would be an ideal new species support for her at 60. And then the Queen Nanny is a separate question. She'd like to know more about Queen Nanny.
So, Valerie, if you were there when Jillian and I were just talking about when we first started New Species, those formulas we had at the initial inception of New Species, those were the formulas I create to support the whole body. at a basic level for a healthy person. It is the LNU1. It is the women's formula for the woman and the bee pollen. Those are the basic formulas you would need. The women's formula helps to support healthy hormones in a woman. And we still have that formula, but if you need something more potent because you have a hormonal issue, if you have or had fibroids or ovarian cysts or dense breast, as I mentioned before, if you have menopausal issue, postmenopausal issues, you would need probably the Queen Nanny to help support your body, because now the basic uh, women's formula that just support the body generally, supports a healthy body generally of a woman, may not be enough to restore the hormonal imbalance that could be affecting you. So yes, a lot of women over 40, over 50, the Queen Nanny is going to be more appropriate for them to support their bodies, especially if they have hormonal issues relating to those organs I just mentioned.
I'm looking for the Queen Nanny video that we did on one of our very first Q&A episodes, because we actually educated all about that product and why it's named that. But I'm not finding it yet, but we'll try to get that into the chat if I can find it.
So the LNU1 supports the whole body. It rebuilds, it helps to rebuild the whole body. And what I did in those early years, I added the B vitamins with vitamin C. So it has those, 8 or 9 herbs, plus our plants, our green foods, our whole food, plus it would have the B vitamins and the vitamin C. But the B vitamins that we have added, it's not a large amount. It's just to support your body. If your body needs, more vitamins, you have to add in the B vitamins complex, and you may need to add in the vitamin D as well. But the LNU1 is that basic formula that helps the body to rebuild all the organs and all the glands. That's why I invented that formula. And then, the women's formula support the hormones, because most health issues for women begins with hormones. They begin with hormones. And then we have the bee pollen because of digestion. What's the point, telling you to eat a healthy diet when you can't digest it? And you don't have to be diagnosed with acid reflux or constipation to have a digestive issue. A lot of people who are walking around have chronic digestive issues with their liver and their pancreas, their thyroid, and they don't know. So you just heard it there. If you have a thyroid issue, you have a digestive issue automatically. If you have a liver issue, you have a digestive issue. If you have a pancreatic issue, even diabetes is a digestive issue. If you have a pancreatic issue, you automatically have digestive issues. And that's what you should keep in mind. So it's still those 4 formulas that you would need, and now you can add in the detox, and you would complete what you would need to support your body. And that goes for all of you, whether you're 20, 30, 40, or 100 years old. That's the basic support you would need for your body, those 4 or 5 formulas. But if you have health issues, you will need the more potent ones that we have created. So now you, by implication, know why we created Legend, and Caveman, and God formulas, and anti-inflammatory. These are the powerful formulas, because people who have health issue, they need stronger support for their bodies to be able to live, as Julian says in their opening statements, for you to live longer and better. You need more potent stuff.
So we do have a question on Instagram that we will get to. It's about chronic constipation.
Mhm.
I just want to wrap up with Valerie, which is that you really should, I don't know how often you go to the doctor or get labs, but you probably want to get your hormones checked, letting them know that, at your age, you have concerns about your hormonal levels. Maybe it's, menopause, or I'm not sure if you'd be post-menopause by now. Everyone's different. But especially if you're still in menopause, checking in on your hormone levels, and just your a vitamin panel, just to see where you are with your essential, nutrients, like the building blocks of your health. Because then you'll know if you need to, like Aston was saying, focus in on one product or another for your specific health at this time. And then that will continue to change in each season of life. So it's good to keep, it's very easy to like tell yourself a story about where you are with your health, and then let that story live on for years, even though that reality may no longer exist. So it's good to update your story, every few years, check back in as at least yearly with your physical. Those are your standard blood tests, but different phases of life can justify with your insurance more specific blood tests that could give you more information about what's happening in your body.
Right.
Just because it's 60 doesn't mean anything across the board for anyone. So, other than what Dastin was saying, is like, okay, we're 60 years into life now, and potentially we've damaged our body. And that is expected that things will start to go wrong. They don't have to, but it's likely. And so checking in on specifically what 60 means to you and then targeting those things and letting us guide you from there would be a good next step as well. And then taking the formulas Aston recommended in the meantime, because they are globally supportive to all your body systems.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've got the question from Instagram about what can they do for chronic constipation. So whenever someone talks about constipation or bowel movement issues, there's a few layers to the question. There's what NuSpecies can do to help support your body and help rebuild from chronic constipation. But then there's also what you could be doing as well in your lifestyle. And this advice would change depending on if you've developed other sorts of digestive issues. So, if you have any sort of inflammatory bowel disorder along with the constipation, then that would be different type of advice that should be really guided by a gastroenterologist who is promotes a plant-based diet. But transitioning to that kind of diet is different if you have those inflammatory issues. So if that is not the case, then this advice will hold true as far as diet goes. And then we can talk about the detox. So for diet, you need fiber in your diet. You know how people always say you are what you eat? It's actually you are what your bacteria eats. So the healthy bacteria, the kind of bacteria that is symbiotic, meaning that we have a win-win relationship, that it takes up residence in our bodies and it survives and it benefits our health greatly. So as far as what does that bacteria eat is fiber. There is no fiber in meat or dairy. No fiber. Therefore, when you eat meat and dairy, or it is the primary source of your diet, you are not feeding that healthy bacteria that creates amazing health. You are feeding pathogens, which are negative bacteria, bacteria that negatively impact our health. So, if you want your digestive system to function really well, and then frankly, the rest of your body, because it's all connected, then you want to feed the healthy bacteria, because the nutrients that you are going to digest have to be released by those healthy bacteria breaking down your food. That's how you get the nutrition. That's why NuSpecies products are so effective, because not only are they whole foods that have fiber, but they're raw. And so they're in their natural form that the healthy bacteria wants to consume and break apart and release all that nutrition in your bloodstream. It's the same thing when you put food in your mouth. Will the bad bacteria eat it or will the good bacteria eat it? And that's the only thing you need to know. So when you start eating fiber, which is plants, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, whole grains, you are feeding the good bacteria. And now it is chowing down, breaking up those foods, and releasing all of that really healthy nutrition in your body. But separately, the fiber, yes, that's what the bacteria eats, but fiber is also then what contributes to really, really good digestion. And fiber is not as simple as like Metamucil, okay? They make it sound like there's just one type of fiber. There's actually different types of fiber, and they come in different types of foods. So the goal here is to eat a really diverse plant-based, mainly plant-based diet. Like meat and dairy would be like less than 10% of your overall diet. If you still have to eat it, it should be a very small portion, because our bodies thrive on plants and on fiber. So I can make a recommendation as far as a book that explains this in great detail, and it's fascinating. It's called Fiber Fueled, and it was written by gastroenterologist Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. And it changed, it just like blew my mind, because everything I already understood about nutrition, it just like broke it down to the most detailed layers that I hadn't previously been aware of. So you might find that really empowering and motivating. But you need to eat plants. There are 400,000 species of plants on this planet. 300,000 of them are edible by humans. So when people think, but what do I eat? Well, think about if you primarily eat meat and dairy. Tell me, how many versions of that are there? Are there 3 different meats you eat on a weekly basis? 5, maybe
Mm-hmm.
6, 7 if you get into more specialty meats? But there are hundreds of plants you have access to in your grocery store. So please open up your mind to eating more plants. Your chronic constipation is your body telling you that what you are doing is not working. So you can already tell yourself, well, I can't do that. And that's going to be too hard. And this is why I can't do that. Stop that. Think about, what can I do? What can I do? And start there and just do that. And I promise you, because I suffered with chronic constipation as well, when I started eating more plants, and we'll get to the detox as well, because I survive on our detox. When I don't eat enough plants, I need it to survive. You will start to see your bowels flowing in the most amazing, freeing way that you have ever imagined. Okay. So that's the diet side. There's also water and sleep and managing stress and exercise. All of these things are going to correct
Mm-hmm.
chronic constipation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of lifestyle changes that you might not be ready for. So knowing that you need to do those things is great, but just figure out, what can I do, and pick that one thing and start doing it this week. Okay. On to NuSpecies Detox. This will help you get going immediately. And if you have chronic constipation, it could take a few days, even up to a week, for you to start to really see the movement that this detox will create. The NuSpecies Detox, and I'm sure Mary will get the link in the chat, is a bunch of herbs that are ground up into a powder, and you're going to scoop out a half a teaspoon morning and night, mix it in water, and drink it. Or you can get the capsule version if you can't handle too much of a bitter taste. These herbs get very gelatinous and sticky, and they adhere to the lining of your intestinal and colon walls. So it's not like a washout, which basically just flushes out your colon, flushes out the bad along with the good. It's not something you can use on a daily basis to deal with chronic constipation. It's just going to relieve you once in a while, which sometimes is what you might need, but it's not something you could do every day. NuSpecies Detox can be taken every day for your whole life. And basically, it's going to line your whole intestinal and colon walls. And then as you drink water and you eat, and if you add fiber on top of that, it is crazy. But what'll happen is, as you have that peristalsis going from drinking water and eating, you will see that all of that fecal matter lining your intestines and colon wall is going to get pulled off and come out. And you will experience the largest, softest, and more frequent bowel movements that you have ever had in your life. And you are going to feel like a new human. It is really unbelievable. Some people take it and immediately they're going. But other people who have chronic constipation, it could take a few days or up to a week to get going. But you are going to love it. So if the bitter taste is going to get in the way, start with the capsules. I didn't think the capsules would work for me, but they really do, because I was avoiding the bitter taste as well. Although, believe it or not, you do get used to it. If it's going to be a hindrance at all, just start with the capsules. And these products are all 15% off right now, so it's a great way to get started. Okay. And those of you on Instagram, we're about to lose you because we cut off in an hour. So if you want to keep going with the Q&A, just switch over to YouTube, please, or Facebook. Okay. All right. We've got, did you want to add anything?
No, that was as comprehensive as it gets.
Okay, great. I love talking about digestion.
I think we all can tell.
Well, it's been my personal nemesis. And so, but the solution ended up being so much more simple than I thought. And yes, I survived on the detox for a long time, but other health issues eventually creep in because, you have to deal with the root cause of the problem. And the detox kept me going. But eventually, as I got older, I did need to start changing my diet as well. Okay. I am currently taking NuGenesis. This is from Angelita. Hi, Angelita. And L-New9 for 2 weeks now for cholesterol. When should I expect results? Oh, that's an alarm. Hold on.
So I would like you to do your labs in 3 months. So stay in those 2 consistently, and for 3 months. And at the end of 3 months, I would like you to do your labs and send it in to us. You should see results by then. For a lot of people, even if their cholesterol is very high, it will go back to normal by that time. But 3 to 6 months is really the range that we shoot for. But stay in those 2 consistently. Add in the detox. and send them consistently for 3 months. And at the end of 3 months, you can schedule your blood test report now to get a blood test now. And so you can just get it done at the end of 3 months. Don't wait until it gets closer to the time. The doctors may not be available.
Um, is that like a starter version for cholesterol? L-Nine and Genesis only?
It's a starter.
It does work for a lot of people, but some
Yeah.
people do need more.
They it's 3 to 6 months. Whatever we recommend for all of you to be on, it should be 3 to 6 months for you to start getting the results you need. It takes up to 3 months for the body to start to rebuild itself and actually clean itself. Jillian just mentioned, the whole detoxification. Maybe a lot of you won't may not realize it as well, that to detox a body could take 3 to 6 months, because detoxing mean it's not just cleaning the digestive tract, it's cleaning the liver, the pancreas, cleaning the organs, cleaning the blood, cleaning the cells. It could take 3 to 6 months to, if you stay on our detox with the blood and the lymph node properly and drink the right amount of water to properly clean the body. It will take that long. So when it comes to health issues, they don't fix overnight. The body doesn't start to rebuild itself until up to 3 months. So we have that, that initial point. You do your blood tests at 3 months, so we can have a view to make sure that you're getting better. You're seeing results for the better.
This will be the last question we can get to for today, but I want to expand a little bit more on the on cholesterol package. So, for someone who's asking this, when should I expect results? And potentially, most people have a budget restriction. It's really rare someone comes to us and has an unlimited budget of what they can spend. But let's say you're anxious because you're thinking, all right, I know I've got my budget stretched. I can keep going with this. But what if I get to 3 or 6 months and I haven't seen results? If someone has that worry, is there anything else they can do along with this to give their body the best chance at fixing this issue, like a diet adjustment she could make, or anything else she can do if she just really wants to guarantee that she gets the results she's looking for?
So if you have high cholesterol or any health issue, because what we recommend is what we have been doing for many, many years, working with tens of thousands of people worldwide with the worst health issues and with multiple health issues. So when we call you or you come to us and we make a recommendation of a protocol or a package, if you buy the package and if you accept our New Life program, it's a diet guide. And if you exercise a little bit 2 to 3 times a week, and if you drink the amount of water we ask you to drink, based on the recommendation we make, you, you let me put it this way: up to 98% of you will see significant changes in 3 months. And that's why we ask you to do a lab in 3 months, because we want to make sure you see the results. The lab is more for you than us.
She confirmed she is taking the 1 ounce of the L-Nine.
So we want you to take what we recommend. And if you do it, the people who are doing it, the clients who are doing it, over 95% of them are seeing the results that they need within 3 months, especially if they do it for 6 months. But if you do something less, if you don't do the full protocol that we recommend, then you will see result. It's likely you'll see not as great a result. You'll see some changes for the better, but we still want you to do your labs in 3 months, because we want to know where you stand. We want to know that you're getting better. We want to know that you're on the right track, because at the end of 3 months, we may have to make, different recommendation. And keep in mind that I would say probably 80% of you who come to me, I'm going to speak for myself, and I don't speak for everybody else who at NuSpecies. Probably 80% of you who come to me, you don't have one health issue. You just don't have high cholesterol alone, or diabetes alone, or high blood pressure alone. You have multiple issues. And then when we look at your labs, there's usually numerous abnormalities in your lab report, which mean that there are other issues that you have, whether it's your CBCs, your blood, or your liver, your kidney, your thyroid. So all that should be taken into consideration. So when you come to us and we tell you that we recommend a protocol or package for you, and you should take it for 3 to 6 months, that's incredible. I don't know of companies out there who can tell you that and get you those results in such a short period of time, 3 to 6 months. Because if you take cholesterol, for example, your doctor probably going to keep you on the medication for life. You're going to take that medication for life. That's what's going to happen, and that's the same for diabetes and blood pressure. So even if you go to your doctor and you get you get the statin, and your cholesterol go back to normal, the doctor's not going to take you off the medication because the medication could be hiding, that you really have high cholesterol. It's still there. So they're never going to take you off that medication unless they're absolutely certain that your cholesterol is truly gone and it's not being masked by the medication. And that's why you go to your doctor is going to say, you need to be on this for life.
It's a good point too, because earlier when you said that at you 50 or 60 years old, you may already know what is going to kill you based on what disease you already have. And it's interesting because when you hear it like that, it sounds shocking and scary, but it's hard. It sounds that way because I've never experienced a doctor who explains it that way. When you're diagnosed with cancer, you think, okay, this is it, I'm going to die. But getting diagnosed with diabetes is devastating to your body. That is also a death sentence if you don't do something to change what's happening in your system. Same thing with cholesterol, um, high blood pressure. These are all devastating conditions for your body to be in, but it's so common. And there's so many medications that can help regulate, although it's not fixing the problem, right? Like Aston said, it's just kind of masking it so that you don't get any worse symptoms for now. But they'll just sort of present it as like, okay, great, take this prescription and we'll see you next. But they're never like, okay, you're going to have this forever. There is no cure. You're going to take this medication for now. Eventually it's going to stop working. Then you're going to need more medication. And then you're going to get sicker. And then you're going to need more medication. And eventually won't be able to help you and you're going to die. The doctor doesn't say that at the time that you get diagnosed, but that truly is the trajectory. And this is why at NuSpecies, we want to educate you about that. We're not trying to scare you, but you do need to take action and now. And you're doing it, Angelita, so that's amazing. And we understand it can be tough with budget, but make the lifestyle changes that I talked about earlier. Follow the New Life program as best as you can. It's very, very strict, so if you get anywhere near that, you are doing great.
Mm-hmm.
We can always talk more about lifestyle changes, but staying on the package you're on is going to be a really strong foundational support for your body to start rebuilding, because sometimes lifestyle changes are not fast enough, even though you do still need to do them. So what Aston says that, this could be the sign of what could harm you in the future. Well, let's not ignore it. And you're not. And that's why we're here to help you on this journey. And if you fall into that 1 or 2% of people who needed a bit more support than this package, then we'll take care of that then. Or if you want to be more aggressive now and your budget allows for it, then let Aston know and he can make more recommendations. Although in the meantime, he did say get the detox as well if you can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
The pain and burden that we suffer at NuSpecies, just to close out this or stream this way, just for you to see. I'm going to try to put you in our perspective. You come to us and you have diabetes, and
Sorry, can I interrupt?
yeah, go ahead.
Angelina just added on that she hasn't taken the statin prescribed by the doctor and she's not on any other medication. I don't know if you know the details of her situation, but maybe that's not recommended
I
to
would
not
just
take the medication.
I can just speak with her separately.
Okay.
That's a separate issue.
All right. Thank you for letting us know that, Angelina.
Yeah.
We'll make a note for Aston to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you come to us with diabetes or blood pressure or any of these issues, folks, and we we put a package or a protocol before you that you should take, I am the one who creates these protocols or packages for you to take. And as some of you might know, I am the one who speak with a lot of you about your health issues. And this is going to sound really bad, but I need to say it because if you have diabetes and it's not getting better with your medication, I am the one who see all these people over the years, over 20 years, seeing diabetes destroying their kidneys, and they go on dialysis. Those of you who have diabetes or early diabetes, you don't even know that. Your doctor is never gonna tell you that. But I have witnessed it. And New Species Corporation is, I see it personally as more of a charitable company trying to do the right thing to help all of you to live better and longer. I don't see us as a business. I see us as trying to help you the right way, advise you the right way for you to live better and longer, or your family or your friends or whoever you refer to us. So we see the people who have suffered and died, and I'm going to ask the family to forgive me for saying this. One of the closest friends we ever had at New Species was Norbert. He had high cholesterol, and I actually gave him products, and he would give it to
Less fortunate people.
actually he would give it to all, because he knew all the reggae legends. I'm not going to say their names. He was just trying to help them out by giving it to them. I give it to him, and he give it to them. I'm not going to say their names. And he didn't know he was going to get heart attack from high cholesterol and died. And when his wife called me to tell me, I'm telling you now, and I hope the family forgives me, I use him in my mind when anyone comes to me. I have clients or many clients for different health issue. When you come to me and I see what happened to them, what they should have done and didn't do, they're my anchor. And when I'm talking to you, I'm actually talking to them, because I want to see you get well from the issues you have. And that's why we have the protocols we have. The protocols we have, they're based on helping probably over 95% of the people who come to me. That's why I create those protocols, and that's why I change them, from time to time to make them better. That's why I add in our takeout formulas to make them better, because I am always looking for the best way to help you. So when you come to me or come to us at New Species and we make a recommendation, it's not a if or but. If we know that it may not work, we're going to tell you that we're just going to try to help you. But if we say you should take this, and you should do the New Life program, and you should drink this amount of water, and you should get this amount of exercise in, because we know it will work. It will work based on your labs, based on me reviewing your labs or your scans. It will work. I just want you all to see what happens with us behind the scene of all those people who died, who shouldn't have died.
It's our worst nightmare.
And I'm closing my computer only because it's dead.
No, it doesn't. Just pretending to look industrious. All right, folks, thank you so much for being with us here today. We'll be back next week at 10 a.m. Please tell your family and friends about this Q&A, even if they're not using our products. We're here for them, and if you are hoping they'll use our products, maybe meeting us, asking us questions, we'll hopefully help them decide to try to get started with something so that we can help them live longer and better too. Also, the discount is happening right now. It's 15% off all the full price products. The code is strong15. It's on the website, so if you don't remember, it'll be right there. Please take advantage of these savings. A lot of you do. The Bee Pollen 9 is 30% off because I want to change out the bottle, so I need to sell out what I've got in stock already. So please take advantage of that, especially if you suffer from fall allergies. You need to start taking it now to have the best results in September. So buy up a bunch because this is the best price it's going to be.
About how many we have left?
I'm not sure. I got to check in on that, but it's starting to get lower. So
because I'll start taking it more.
Yeah. He already takes tons of it.
So maybe a few weeks or a few months from now, you're going to say, who's that? Is that Aston? Is that Aston brother or son or whatever? That's not because you can't overdose on the bee pollen as well. I do take it every day, folks. I'm serious. Caveman, bee pollen, and less often the fire focus. Those are the formulas I take virtually every day for energy.
Huh? $30. Oh, there's only 30 left? Oh, wow. Well, no, we have more at manufacturing. Yeah, so I just keep bringing them to this side of the business when we're ready to sell them. So we've got a bit more, but not as many. They've been going. So if you ever hope to be getting this much off bee pollen, it's not going to happen again. So please stock up. Shirley says, real talk, Aston. You know my history when it comes to my BP. The doctor keeps asking me what I'm doing. Thank you guys again.
You're welcome.
Oh man, you got it, Shirley. That's what we want to hear. That keeps us going. Valerie, the detox capsules are, I'd say they're an average size. They're not small, but they're not oversized. I think they're right in between. The toughest part about them is they're veggie capsules, so they will start dissolving quickly. So like you want to swallow them fast because you'll feel them getting sticky quite quickly. Okay, great. Shawnette says best. I'm stopping in today with my labs. Great. All right, everybody. Yay. So get the discount, get the discount, get the discount. And then Bronxville has new hours starting on Monday. So as of Monday, Bronxville will be open Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday from 10 to 6. So an extra hour on Tuesday and a whole extra day from Monday. So I hope that helps all of you get what you need from Bronxville. And you can meet Shania. We have a new employee there. Her name is Shania. She's very sweet and she's working hard training right now. So when you go there, she's going to say, "Hi, I'm Shania. I'm training." And she's going to get Mary or me or Aston on the phone or on the computer to help her talk to you. So I would love for you to go cheerlead her on.
So the new opening hours are 10 for Bronxville, 10 to 6.
Yep. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday,
Okay.
10 to 6.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then, yes, before you leave, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe, like things, make us look great because we are. And we appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here with us. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we'll see you next week.
And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry for my tough talk today. And about aging and the last comments I made about people who die who shouldn't have died. I know it's tough talk and I know it sounds scary, but I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry because I want you to take good care of yourselves. All right, so you have a great weekend. Talk soon again.
Bye-bye.